Are you guys ready to get the most out of your bicep curls? Chances are you're leaving gains on the table with just a few small mistakes. In this video, we're going to dive into the biomechanics of the perfect bicep curl. Because when you nail your form, you unlock real muscle growth and avoid injury. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned lifter, mastering the fundamentals is the key to taking your lifting to the next level. So let's perfect your bicep curl one rep at a time. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Active Wave, your go-to source for cutting-edge fitness insights. If you're excited about fitness and fitness technology, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date with all of our latest content. So let's first start with the functions of the bicep muscle. To really perfect the form in a lift, we have to know what the muscle's functions are so that we can make sure we're incorporating all of that into the movements that we're doing. So the main concentric actions of the bicep muscle is elbow flexion, supination of the radial ulnar joint, and shoulder flexion. And then of course, the eccentric actions of the bicep muscle are just each of those things flipped. So elbow extension, pronation of the radial ulnar joint, and shoulder extension. So now that we know those three main functions, we can make sure that we're incorporating all of those movements into our perfect bicep curl. So elbow flexion is simple, right? That's this movement here. And that's going to be seen in any bicep curl that we're doing. Next up is supination of the radial ulnar joint. You actually have two radial ulnar joints where your radius and ulna connect together in your forearm. So supination is this movement here of that radial ulnar joint. We're talking about that hand rotating or that forearm rotating out, okay? So in order to get a perfect bicep curl, to make sure we're hitting all of those functions, we need to make sure we're including this rotation into our bicep curl. So when we see rotation through a bicep curl, right, we're starting here, and as we come up, we're rotating into supination here. We need to make sure that we're including this to get a perfect bicep curl rep. Next up is shoulder flexion. So that's this movement here. You'll see a lot of people talk about making sure that the shoulder doesn't move at all during a bicep curl. I don't love to see this because one of the main actions of the bicep is actually assisting in shoulder flexion. So I like to make sure that we're incorporating a little bit of shoulder flexion into our bicep curls. So that means as we come up into elbow flexion, we're going to slowly bring that elbow up. I like people to shoot for 45 degrees to get that bicep assisting in that shoulder flexion and make sure we're incorporating all three of those actions into our movement. So the perfect bicep curl is going to look like elbow flexion, supination of that radial ulnar joint, and a little bit of shoulder flexion. As we look at that again, right, we're elbow flexion, supination, and shoulder flexion to come all the way up to this position. And then again, we're in the eccentric phase. We're doing just the opposite of that. So we're turning back to this position. Now, here are a few more tips to make sure we're doing this injury-free and getting the most out of our lifts. First, we want to make sure that we're retracting our shoulder blades when we start this position. If we don't retract and we're in this position here, we're going to squish that biceps tendon through the front of the shoulder. So if you're experiencing shoulder pain in your curls, make sure we're really retracting those shoulder blades as we go through this full movement. Next up, making sure that we're keeping the lats and core engaged to take out any excessive momentum in the lift. We don't want to see rocking as we're going up. That's going to take out work being done by the bicep. So in that starting position, we want to retract those shoulder blades. We want to get those lats engaged, and then we want to keep that core nice and tight to make sure that all of the movement is going to be coming from the bicep muscles. So now that you've got the fundamentals of the perfect bicep curl, you're set to maximize your arm workouts and your results. Remember, it's not just about lifting heavy. Understanding what's going on in the lifts and the muscles that are working and the movements that they're supposed to be doing ensures that we're getting the most out of every single repetition. If you guys have found these tips helpful, or if you disagree with me, feel free to come at me in the comment section. Just know that you're already wrong. But really, we love hearing from you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.